Hey, welcome back. Alright, let's learn who Briar is. I remember her animation being fire, and she kinda looks like Gura, so I already love her. Let's see. I'm excited to know more.
What I like about this is that, as you'll see,
Yep.
all the teasers and cinematics
Yeah.
are part of her story. However, there will also be some mentions of historical events, so just for the sake of context, for those of you who
Hey.
don't know much about League's lore,
Yeah, fuck, I love this animation. God damn, look at that.
here is a super TLDR version of all you need to know.
Ah.
All of this is happening in Noxus, which is an empire that is all about conquering
Okay. I don't think there's a chance she's gonna be in the show, but I would love it if she was in Welcome to Nexus.
everything around them. For many years, Noxus was ruled by a tyrant called Borem Darkwill, who was secretly manipulated by LeBlanc, one of the leaders of the Black Rose. With the Black
Okay.
Rose basically being a secret organization that is dealing with dark magic. With her whispers in his ear, Darkwill started making mad decisions. You know, invading surrounding nations, kidnapping children, dealing with black magic, all
Oh,
that sort of things. And of course, he
how pleasant. How pleasant.
he also started the invasion of Ionia. During those events, he essentially sent Swain to the front lines to die, because he was strong enough to threaten his authority. So when he returned from Ionia, he killed Darkwill, he took over Noxus, and established new leadership. All of
Wow.
this will be referenced in Briar's story. And in fact,
Okay.
it begins while Darkwill is still the leader of Noxus. So now, without further ado, let's jump into Briar's story. And let's read
Let's
it
go.
word for word because it's honestly not that long. So, here we go. Grand General Borem Darkwill entrusted the Black Rose and its many Hemomancer with creating a new kind of living weapon. Unlike their previous
Oh.
experiments on the deceased, this would be a being born from and fueled by blood, one driven to hunt down targets without requiring the sustenance of food and water. And so,
So they're making a vampire.
Briar was born. Her creators wanted
Ah.
an assassin, but all she wanted was to eat, eat, and eat. When her
Relatable. I feel you. She just like me for real.
first mission ended in a frenzied, gory failure.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Black Rose decided that Briar was too dangerous to use, but too powerful to be destroyed. In order to control her, they devised a special pillory, locked by a Hemelith gemstone, to restrain her and focus her mind. Once shackled with the pillory, Briar, along with the rest of the Black Rose's living weapons, was quickly deployed during Jericho Swain's
She's cool. She in the game.
coup against Darkwill. She
Yeah, I'm guessing she's in the game. I wonder if she's got that thing on. If you play like her.
was given a handler to direct her, but when released from her pillory, Briar immediately devoured him and everyone near her. Everyone but her target, Swain, who escaped while the living weapon fed upon friend and foe. After an arduous capture, Swain's guards managed to trigger Briar's pillory and restore her restraint, enabling them to transfer
Okay.
her to their holding facility. Alone in her cell, Briar could focus on nothing except her hunger. Though she couldn't die from starvation, the absence of blood weakened her day by day.
What is she made of? How come she can't die? Like, what is she made of?
At first, she thought the chorus of crazy wails echoing throughout her room were her own starving thoughts, until she realized the sounds were drifting from unseen neighbors. Did Swain's forces manage to capture other living weapons during the coup? Was she locked up with them now, each having failed their mission, their purpose? The voices cried out for blood, a sentiment Briar could relate to. But what she couldn't understand wasn't how often they did it, nor how loud they were, but it was all they talked about. Their unrelenting hemomania was the most boring thing she had ever experienced. As hungry as Briar was, and she was hungry, her thoughts stayed focused on the pitiful sound of others. What if she managed to break out of the pillory? Would her frenzy make her even more unhinged than her neighbors? Would she become as single-minded and boring as them? The idea was too horrifying to dwell on.
Interesting. So she's not just mindlessly eating. She's kind of smart and has ideas too. Okay. I'm liking her more.
So she instead resigned herself to listless solitude. Years passed,
Hmm.
and the time alone allowed Briar to reflect on herself and consider the possibilities of the world outside her cell. Entertainment considered of eavesdropping on the guards' conversations, devising new ways to pester them from raw meat, and agonizing over whether she should raise her pet spiders or eat them. By chance, while she was toying with her pillory one day, she inadvertently
A very long animation of her just bored in her cell, just doing whatever.
loosened the
Kind of funny.
hemorrhoid, which settled into a position just short of unlocking the restraint. Briar froze as thoughts of her hemomaniacal neighbors filled her head. Is that what she had become? But then she realized something. Being under control was just as dangerous as being out of control. She
Hmm?
wanted to strike the balance. Having
Okay.
discovered the Hemolis mechanism, Briar devised a plan. By this point, the guards were so used to her calls for attention that when she learned one of them close to her cell, nobody
Hmm.
noticed he was missing until it was too late. The guard's blood surged within her, lighting a fire that had been waiting to spread. Now the living weapon gleefully
Okay, that's the animation we saw. Okay.
roams the streets of Noxus, pillory locked back in place, until she wants to unlock it. As she acclimates to the world outside, with the Black Rose monitoring an unexpected development, Briar eagerly learns all she can, making new friends and
Yeah.
discoveries in a world she is starving to experience.
So she can be friendly. That's the impression I got from the animation. So she's not just mindlessly eating. She is like a friendly person who wants to eat a lot. So I relate.
And there you have it, Briar's lore. Honestly, it is pretty simple, just like
Mm-hmm.
the past few stories that we've been getting. I assume this is a result of Riot restructuring everything they are doing, and they really need to start
Not gonna lie, I was expecting way more. Her design's amazing. She got such an interesting looking character. I was expecting a way longer story, like deeper story. Nope, that was it. Wow. I'm guessing how old is this? A year ago. I'm guessing we got some more. Oh, only a year ago? She's okay, so she's a relatively new character. Okay.
planning things ahead. But since they are not really moving forward yet, unless they are actually planning things for their other games, it wouldn't make too much sense for them to start massively expanding the story without anything to pay it off. So this kind of simple story is totally fine. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, as you
Yeah, yeah, okay, so it's just an introduction. She was a new character, okay. I'm hoping to make more from her.
saw, all the teasers and the cinematics were part of her lore. The teasers showed what she was doing in Swain's prison, which was essentially just walking around. Then it shows her escape through the guard, and then the cinematic shows us how she got outside. And honestly, I really appreciate how well all of this is linked together. It is not just random pieces that come from all over the place.
Oh my god, I love that animation so much.
Now, with that said, we do have to mention the splash art. You see, if the splash
Cute.
art is based on lore, it would have to be part of her first mission. As you now know, she was only ever sent on 2 missions. And in the second one, it was a Noxian civil war. But since you can see both Noxians and Demacians here, there is simply no other option. But here's the catch. She already has the pillory on her,
Mm-hmm.
which she only got after her first mission. Which means
That's a
that
second
this scene
mission.
is just totally made up. It looks
Huh?
cool, but no one
I thought it was gonna mean that this is her second mission.
has any idea what is going on there. Now, I saw that some people noticed that the runes on her pillory are similar to the runes on Riven's blade, which would absolutely make sense because, remember, both of these were made by the Black Rose. And lastly, during her story, it was also mentioned that there were other living weapons in the prison with her. She
Hmm.
heard their voices constantly, and one of them was constantly shouting and calling for blood. Well,
Okay.
we also know about one other construct who is also heavily related to blood. So unless Wright is teasing someone else, it is highly likely Sion, who was there in the prison with her.
Who? I'm sorry, I have no idea.
And who annoyed her the entire time she was there.
Hmm.
And this theory is further reinforced by the fact that Briar actually has voice lines with him. And she even mentioned
He kind of looks like Bane with the Bane thingy in the back. For him, it looks like blood, but it
how
reminds me
sad
of
she
Bane.
is that he also escaped.
Oh, Zion! You escaped too? And you're here
With me. Yeah.
Meaning that Sion also had to be in prison with her. This is interesting because this would suggest that in the present days, Sion was captured by Swain's forces. He is not hidden
Okay.
somewhere beneath the immortal bastion by the Black Rose. Swain knows about him, and it is possible that he has him locked up. This is a seemingly random thing to be mentioned in her story, so I wonder if Wright is planning something with it. Though at the pace that League's lore is currently going, maybe it is a plan 10 years into the future for the MMO. But that's really all I wanted to mention. Overall, Briar's story is really cool. It is nothing
Yeah.
crazy, but also nothing to confuse people. It even has some nice cameos from the champions. And even though Vladimir wasn't directly included here, don't worry, he does have a voice line with him.
Okay.
So, you want me to call you Vlad or Dad?
I was wondering about that with the whole blood thing. I was expecting him to mention Vladimir, but we didn't get a lot. What? What the fuck is this? What the the disgust face Necrid is doing is hilarious. Okay, I just want to check if she's got anything new. New voice lines. Yeah, they. What the fuck? And. Yeah, I don't see a lot from her. Dang, I was hoping to get more. Well, hopefully in the future we get more.